Riding a motorcycle for me has always been about simplicity. The road, the wind, the engine. But now, over the years, tech has crept into our bikes, our helmets, and even our gloves. Does this make us better riders? Or is too much tech ruining the essence of motorcycling? Before we decide whether that's a good thing or bad, let's take a step back and see how far we have come. From being a mere mode of transport from point A to B that beats traffic and saves fuel, we know how motorcycling in India has gradually shifted from utility to passion. And that has brought new purposes and challenges. Long rides, group rides, and unfamiliar roads called for better ways to stay safe and connected. And while how much tech you incorporate in your life is completely subjective, there's some absolutely useful inventions in tech like the ABS and traction control that have changed motorcycling forever and made it a much safer and accessible hobby. But I also draw a line when I see tech coming in the way of me enjoying an unadulterated ride on the road. Like these used screens, for example, that are placed on your handlebar that not only complicate your dash view, but also distract you from the already chaotic surroundings. While the intent and purpose of the tech can't be doubted, the eventual utility is very little with too much clutter.
But on the other hand, I'm a fan of the kind of tech that is subtle. So much subtle that it's almost invisible.
Meet the Cardo Packtalk Pro.
Back to the bone if you know you know. Get stupid with the flow if you know you know. LONDON if you know you know. Come through if you wanna roll if you know you know.
This is the latest and a flagship product from Cardo. For the uninitiated, Cardo is an intercom device that converts your helmet into a smart helmet, allowing you to do pretty much everything that you need on a ride. How that works is very simple. Just a pair of 45mm speakers that act as headphones inside your helmet and a mic that is connected to this device that connects wirelessly to your phone via Bluetooth. Installing the device on the helmet and setting it up on the phone is fairly easy. And once set up, the phone connects instantly to the Cardo like any other headset would.
So right now, my Cardo is connected to my phone. I'll show you my AMMAZING Packtalk Pro and the watch that I'm using right now. This one. So this is connected. So what I'll do is I'll quickly switch this off and show you how quickly this connects. Now it will disconnect from here. Let's see. Okay, so that's disconnected now. Right now the intercom isn't connected. It's not even on. Okay. I don't know if you guys can see, but right now it is not even on. There's no light blinking. So I'll give myself a call and okay, I've gotten a call. So what I'll do now is turn on the Cardo. Okay, now it's already gotten connected and I can receive it from here. See, it hardly took less than 5 seconds, and I'm already connected, and I can by the way receive calls from here and disconnect the calls from here, and it gets disconnected.
This allows you to listen to music, receive calls, and talk on the phone hands-free through the mic. The device itself can be easily taken off and installed back thanks to the super strong air mount that snaps the Cardo firmly onto the helmet, and is IP67 water and dust proof, so you need not to worry about the Indian monsoons or the dusty roads. There's a rotary switch that controls volume and different keys to end and receive calls, play and pause music, and control other multimedia options.
So this key is to connect with your ride buddies using the intercom. This is to receive calls, and you can obviously maybe also set them up to whatever shortcuts or gestures that you need to have. But on the other hand, you can also use voice commands. Now, to be very honest with you, I've not had a great time with these voice commands, because given the Indian accent that I have, which is very difficult for even real people to understand, let alone these devices that are calibrated heavily for English accents, American accents, and all of that. So I did try my luck with the voice commands, but that somehow just never worked for me. I'll give you an example, right? So I have my music player on, and I have this music at pause right now, and if I give this voice command, hey Cardo, music on, hey Cardo, music on, I'll maybe also shut my visor and say that, hey Cardo, music on. That doesn't work. Hey Cardo, music on. That absolutely doesn't work. Now, on the other hand, I have this simple video demonstrating the voice commands of the Cardo, and if I play that,
hey Cardo, music on.
Music on.
you see,
Hey Cardo, next track. Hey Cardo.
so it also worked with the next track as well. Now if I say, I'll go to the previous track. Hey Cardo, next track. Okay, this next track works for me. Hey Cardo, previous track. Hey Cardo, previous track. Okay, the previous track also worked. Hey Cardo, music off. That won't work. Hey Cardo, music on. Hey Cardo, music on. Hey Cardo, music on. Maybe I'll also play this once.
Hey Cardo, music on.
Music on.
See, this works perfectly. So that's pretty much what my struggle is with Cardo, and I've obviously communicated that to them. It's something to do with the way I talk. I don't know, maybe it's just funny for it, so it doesn't seem to take my words seriously, huh? But the good thing is that I never was really habitual of using voice assistants, voice commands on anything pretty much. So even if I want to pause play, I can literally just use this button to play audio.
Then one would wonder, why not have headphones or earbuds instead?
Firstly, it's not only inconvenient and uncomfortable to wear earbuds inside your helmet, it is also very, very dangerous for your ears and also your helmet in case of a mishap, right? I've never really used earbuds inside my helmet. I have once, in fact, and I found them very, very uncomfortable. And I immediately anticipated that to be very dangerous as well. If something impacts my helmet, then that thing will penetrate inside through my ears, right? So that's a big no-no. Besides, Cardo is a lot more than a basic pair of headphones, right?
You can connect to your ride buddies that have an intercom device via Bluetooth. Cardo's cross-brand connectivity allows rider to connect regardless of the brand of device they own. But a Bluetooth connection links one rider to the next, and the connection weakens as the number of riders increases. And one loose link breaks down the entire connection chain, forcing all riders to reconnect manually. Which is why Cardo introduced the DMC. DMC, which stands for Dynamic Mesh Communication, is a step up from Bluetooth and allows a seamless intercom connection for almost 2 kilometers of range between two riders and up to 8 kilometers of range among a group of riders. This lets riders flow in and out of the group without disturbing the connection and relinks once the rider is back in the group. I've tested both the connections during my ride in Goa last year and was very much impressed to see such seamless connection on Cardo to Cardo devices.
हेलो जी, यस आपके साथ जुड़े हैं Moto Zoomer. Yours is the Packtalk Edge, right? But man, the noise cancellation on these ones, dude. You sit like you're sitting in a room. Yeah, my native is Goa, in fact. Then my family moved to Konkan, where I currently live.
I also connected my Cardo to an Indian intercom device, Blue Armor. While the connection was seamless, the range was much lower and the voice quality seemed a lot more radio-like and muffled.
हाँ ये तो आवाज़ है तो एकदम क्लियर. नाही आएगा आपण कनेक्टेड. बघूया ना किती रेंज याची, किती लांब आहे. तू कुठे आहेस? खूप पाठी आहेस ना? सही आहे यार. माझे ब्लू आर्मरशी कनेक्ट होतं आहे मस्त कार्डो. किती होती त्याची प्राईस? ओके, आता मला तुझं डिस्टॉर्शन व्हायला लागला. कितीला भेटलं? 8,000. 8,500. अच्छा. आणि आता जे लेटेस्ट चाललं आहे ते 30,000. तुझा आवाज कट व्हायला लागला बाय द वे.
But the fact that you get to have an intercom connection, regardless of the brand of intercom your rider buddies have, is better than not having a connection in the first place. This way, we can communicate during the ride, alert each other about any possible dangers on the road.
फुल राउंड आहे हा कॉर्नर.
help with directions, and if not anything, just banter and chit chat along the way.
So another update that I got from Cardo is that they have upgraded the DMC and now it can support up to 31 riders at a time. Now, honestly speaking, getting 31 riders in a group chat on the road, I can very well imagine that practically to be very, very chaotic. But having that feature and having that access to that amount of connection is always better, right? And another very, very nice feature that I like is that you can have your group chat and you can have a private chat within that group, right, as well. Now I'll tell you how useful it is for me. Like, for example, if I'm riding in a group and I'm connected with all the riders, if I have a pillion with me, I can set up a private chat within that group and have conversations with just my pillion that I don't necessarily want to share with others in the group. So that's also another very, very nifty and useful feature. So this is where I realize that all of these features, right, that have been developed, these come from true motorcycling. I don't know, it comes from true motorcycling demands. Like, for me to come up with this feature, I can't sit in a studio and come up with these features, right? It is definitely come from someone that has ridden over time in a group and somehow felt the need to have this feature on this device. And that's what I like about Cardo. It's like it's developed by riders for riders and purely from a convenience and ease of use standpoint, right? And my most favorite features is the auto on-off feature. So what Cardo has done is they've upgraded the hardware and they've added something called as IMU, which is inertia measurement unit, basically an accelerometer. So what that does is it calculates the movement of your helmet. Now, since you have your helmet on your head, it is obviously going to keep moving, right? Especially with Indian heads, we have a habit of shaking our heads every once in a while. so it understands that you have your helmet on your head. And once you take off your helmet and keep it somewhere, it's obviously going to stop moving. And it takes about 1 minute, exactly 1 minute, for it to detect that you are not moving your helmet, which means you don't have it on, and it automatically shuts itself off. Now, you have no idea how much of a help this feature has gotten me. I previously owned a Cardo Freecom 4X. It did not have this feature, but the amount of times I have forgotten to switch my Cardo off and left it on my helmet running and drained the battery completely is a million. Now, if you know me well, you know the amount of things I forget, and it's very, very embarrassing. I forget my camera, I forget connecting the mic, I forget, I don't know, everything everywhere. So having something like this is so convenient for me, where I don't have to think twice about anything. I can just leave it there and the tech will do its job. It's also saving battery in return, because obviously if it will automatically shut itself off, it won't be using any battery.
Not just that, the IMU also gives the Packtalk Pro a very important safety feature, and that's crash detection. Imagine me riding at a remote place and somehow I get into a crash. This is where the IMU detects the crash, sending an SOS to my designated emergency contact along with my current location. This is an extremely important and downright life-saving feature that Cardo has made possible. But a quick thing to note. You definitely do need to be in a cellular network for the message to go across. Now, while I can test the voice commands, auto on-off features and give my verdict, I'm definitely not looking forward to testing the crash detection feature for obvious reasons. But full disclosure, more than anything else, the intercom feature is Cardo's main purpose. And I honestly did not get to test this feature off the Cardo as much as I would have liked to, both on the DMC and the Bluetooth mode. Reason being the lack of riders among my friends using intercoms on their helmet. Because, let's face it, many riders in India aren't aware that such things exist. Or even if they know, they're not willing to invest in tech like this.
That brings us to the same question. Do we really need this sort of a tech to make our lives easier? Does it really take away the pure essence of motorcycling, right?
As a motorcycling purist, I prefer keeping things simple. I'm not gonna lie, even helmets and safety gear slightly restrict that raw sense of freedom on the motorcycle. But safety on the road is an absolute must, which is why I never compromise on safety gears. But then, isn't Cardo complicating things?
Well, I would say that I genuinely like this piece of tech because it is not in your eyes. Firstly, it in fact it just makes your life easier without you knowing it. A very simple example of that is the auto on off feature, right? Like I can just literally place this helmet somewhere and forget about it. It will switch. It will shut down on its own and automatically turn on when I pick the helmet back up. And before I even wear it, my phone is already connected. Besides that, the crash detection, right? Now, this is not even convenience at this point. This is just pure safety. If at all, God forbid, I crash into something and fall unconscious, I won't be able to reach for help. Where Cardo will do that on my behalf. It will send a message with my location to my loved ones, and they can get me some help immediately. So I though find it very, very useful and very, very, it's way beyond convenience also at this point.
I call Cardo an invisible piece of tech because it requires almost no attention while adding immense convenience. On a full charge, you get 13 plus hours of continuous use, and even on rides with light usage of music and calls and hours of navigation, it performs flawlessly for days. And when all of these features are working to make your life easier without you needing to put any attention towards it to work for you, that's when it becomes truly invisible, and as a result, worth your investment. Now, let's talk about price. The Cardo Packtalk Pro costs 44,000 Indian rupees, which honestly is steep, especially in India, where local brands offer intercoms for less than half the price. But where I feel brands like Cardo justify their price is the level of sophistication and reliability that you get with their products. Features like auto on-off, crash detection, DMC, and the software stability, all coming in such a small and lightweight form factor, is what you pay your money for. While I appreciate the Indian and other mid-range brands for what they offer at such a low price, and that's absolutely essential for someone that's starting out and needs something that is accessible and affordable, brands like Cardo act as an upgrade to such riders that have used these affordable alternatives, understood their shortcomings, and now are looking for something that offers more features, safety, and reliability. But I'm glad that brands like Cardo have finally shown their interest in the Indian market and its huge riding potential. And I'm very hopeful that once the demand increases, the cost will naturally go down, making it an even better deal for us enthusiasts. I have my fingers crossed. Thank you for watching.
Bonus.
Rolling. Nice. Rolling. 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 Rolling.
So please whatever. Please I want to reach 1 million likes. So please sarapakarai.